bought the whiteboard. I am going to use the whiteboard. Probably do that actually. Fucking dusty here too. Showcase how dusty it fucking is. Yeah. This is a lot of leg room. I should probably put the camera on my bed, really, shouldn't I? Is there something blocking the back of it? Or? Yeah, it is. That's it. Alright. You'll see the whiteboard good, yeah? Yeah, you'll see the whiteboard. Right. What else was I? Yeah. My pen is running out. Do I have others? But I should entirely fucking have other ones back there. I've not got a lot of space to work in. It's because of all the dust that's fucking up, isn't it? Got in a CX bag. There are other whiteboard pens. What do you mean there's a massive fuck off hole at the bottom? That's not okay. Move you back. Anyway, from where I left off. trying to list this from memory. There is no fucking connecting point where you're doing a capital letter, dumbass. That's almost all of them. Is that should up a little bit more, shall we? So that's a bit more. Yeah, that's better. Alright, I can't think of any more of them. There we go. Behold in front of you the setup that I decided to turn into a beginning joke. Alright, tilt upwards so that you can so you can at least pretend you see my face. Move it onto bed so that you're looking down at me or something. Fuck, I don't know. Oh, nothing. It's just the fucking, like, holy bit of my camera there. Yo, existees and non-existees. The name's Wormhole 557, and after watching the most recent death battle, I saw that they were gonna run it back. They were running one back. And yeah, I've decided to do a bit of complaining. Because, I just need to get this out there. I think that the Sonic characters won, like, okay, I can go back and prove myself wrong if I just word it like that. Like, no, they did not win every single one of these fights, but I think they should have. I can do my damned best to explain it. Alright. I should actually clarify, alright. Put an A above the ones where they're using the fucking Archie versions of the characters. Like, say, before a certain point, they were specifically sticking to, like, the Archie Comics version of them. I should note, I do not have exactly a great understanding. It was before this fucker here. They decided, no. So all points of data available. This one was explicitly stated to be the Archie Sonics one. The Silver versus Trunks one was explicitly Archie Sonic. I'll put a little A next to the fucking number 1 on that one. Right. Here we are. What's So the entirety of this side, they had the Archie Sonic comics primarily as a guide for their general strength. This fucking side, this was unintentional, I should note. They didn't. They tried to explicitly use the games for like these fuckers and probably this lot too, or this fucker as well. Round 1 and this entire side, they were allowing shit from the Archie comics. To which is like, here's the thing, it's like, that one right, no they didn't, that one right, no they didn't. Tilde on that one given the reason, because they did give the reasoning behind that one's victory, and I'm kind of willing to let that shit slide, to be honest. That one's wrong, that one's right. And like, hang on, it's like, that's wrong, right, wrong. Tilde on that one, I'll explain. They got that one wrong. Now, before I continue, I would like you all to know. It's all the dust clogging it up. Can't fucking see it. Do I have another like black whiteboard pen, or is this just everything now? No, this is just fucking everything now, isn't it? That was my last one. God, I wasn't going to be able to tell story fucking 3. Alright. Screw it. I'm changing the color to help highlight this, you know. Make it more visible for everyone to see. And that's gunked up already. It's a rather disgusting letter B I drew there. Can you see that? Do you see what I'm trying to like write down for you? Should I write it in green as well? Because I have a green one. That's already faded. Fuck. Okay. You know what? Maybe red is the color that'll get this across, because it's not getting across. And you know why it's not getting across? Because it's fading on the whiteboard. That's why. Please, red, don't fuck this up already. Alright. Those are all the colors of whiteboard pen that I have, but evidently, you know, not all of my whiteboard pens. I bought a fuckload of them because originally I was going to write Oliver's Tales as a fucking set of Tumblr posts drawn on whiteboard and then fucking like enhanced on saturation. That was what I did. That's a thing. I don't think any of those posts are known at all, but yeah, whatever the fuck, I guess. I probably need to buy a whiteboard spray. Gonna still be using this boy for the remainder of this video. Sort of like as a pointer, I guess. Anyway, what I was trying to write in multiple colors is I am biased. So of course I think the ones where the Sonic character loses, they got wrong. But at the same fucking time, these are Archie characters. These were very much fueled on Archie characters. Just a quick little, you know, that one hasn't happened yet. There's a note in this time. There's a note here. So none of them should have lost. Given that they were using fucking Xenoverse Trunks here, I could have given it leeway given they were using Archie Comic Sonic here. Oh, I missed one. Alright, actually, hold on. Sonic versus Kid Flash. Yeah, they got that one right. I'm not gonna argue. I don't know enough about Archie Sonic to debate that shit. Yeah, fuck it. They got that one right. Like, fucking high point of Archie Sonic. He could literally control the fucking grounds of fate, and Kid Flash could outrun that shit. So, fuck. I don't have an argument really. But yeah, no, I am biased. And if this isn't evidence of how biased I am, you still can't see the fucking bottom of that. You don't know I wrote shit, apparently. That'll work. If this isn't an evidence of that, I don't know what is. But at the same time, like, up here, Shadow vs. Mario Round 1, they used primarily Archie comic Sonic with a couple notes from the games. Alright? You know what that means? That means that was fucking unfair. Like, sheer amount of bullshit that Archie Sonic is pulling off here. Absolutely unfair. Shadow versus Vegeta? How the fuck did Shadow lose? That is something I am gonna question. Alright? This was around when fucking GT was like the pinnacle of the shit, right? GT Vegeta. That's Archie Comics, first of all. Second of all, this came out at around the time of 06, or around after that. Very much so, because I remember them using the footage from 06 for like the best fucking moment in that game. They used footage from that to display Shadow taking off his inhibitor rings. In that game, he fought Solaris. Dragon Ball has only reached a Solaris-level threat recently in Xenoverse 2. They weren't fighting gods of destruction in GT. We could argue that they were strong enough to do so, given that GT canonically happens after Super, but we didn't have that context back then. How the fuck did Shadow lose? Shadow fought a being that was destroying all timelines. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but I think timelines are rather bigger than universes. Never mind whatever context we were putting up for GT back then. Shadow absolutely should not have lost that fight. Right? Shadow was faster, stronger. Drop my pen. He was tougher. Dude had, like, infinite power on his side for 50 seconds. Yeah? I'll be telling you this for fucking what? The infinite power and invincibility? I'll be telling you this for what? You didn't even need 50 seconds. You didn't even need a super form. Shadow's kicking Vegeta's arse. This here is a startup piss take video, I should note, as recorded by the I am biased on the fucking whiteboard. But if y'all want me to explain myself, let me know. I'm actually getting people commenting in my video recently. Video singular, because it is the really cool Spider-Man Web of Shadows guide. Apparently, they keep, like, respawning on one guy's one. Apparently they're infinite in one guy's game. Now, either my version of the game was somehow the one perfect version, or theirs is glitched. And I don't want to say that theirs is glitched, because as displayed in that video, it took 7 fucking hours to get all of the spider tokens. Though, admittedly, that's not relevant to this. But it is something I'll have to take a look at when I do continue playing Web of Shadows. No, I am going to ignore the phone. I have other people in the house right now. That's why that I am doing a in-room recording as opposed to a high quality computer recording. because I don't want to be in anyone else's way. Anyway, Tails versus Luigi. Again, that's Archie Comics Tails. That was unfair. I'm just gonna put a U and like next to them if I think that would have been unfair. If that was an unfair victory. Right, I won't put an X to the X's because they did say that Vegeta beat Shadow, and that's not accurate. Surely that's not accurate. Knuckles versus Donkey Kong. They says Donkey Kong wins. Notes in the fucking manual. These two buggers are comparable. And like I have a copy of Sonic Rivals as evidence to the fact that these fuckers are comparable. Right, that's him in the back there. That's our boy. That's Knuckles at the back there. And they do it again. Here he is there. This is another game where they are generally comparable. Like, in these two games, the characters are constantly butting heads. Surely that's some evidence that these fuckers are comparable in some manner or capacity. I'll get to the Tilda one later. Metal Sonic vs. Zero. Now, I am going to admit I don't know enough about fucking Mega Man to debate that thoroughly enough. Alright, so I should entirely put a tilde next to that too. So, I think Metal Sonic should have won, but that could entirely be on my fucking bias. But here's the fun fact. Metal Sonic could also copy Zero's data. He copied Omega's. Surely he fucking copied Omega's. Because he was there during Sonic Heroes, and he copied everyone's fucking data. And remember, like, Solaris has been a thing this whole fucking time. Alright? He's been there. And he's been some fucking broken shit. It's a pretty fucking high hurdle to beat. Alright, let's see. It's at a concept or level 5, alright? That's pretty fucking high shit. That is destruction of timelines to the concept of time sort of shit. I don't think anyone here is quite doing that. Except for this guy, except for Kid Flash. I'm not necessarily taking the piss here. Say, Bowser's a maybe. But Solaris is a definitely. And so the fuck is Eggman. So Metal Sonic vs. Zero? If this came out after Generations, if this one came out after Generations, I am gonna have to check that. Then Metal Sonic is whooping Zero. I don't know what to tell you. Metal Sonic is never evolving force that keeps up, you know, with this bastard. And even if it doesn't, he's right there. Right? He's there. He was also in the first Rivals game. But, like, the Rivals games came out after 06, which is after Secret Rings, right? At this point, Zero ain't got much to fight with. He is fighting a being of infinite speed. He could stop time, potentially negate the speed advantage. But so the fuck can he. Metal Sonic had access to Chaos Control. In the fucking Sonic X Shadow Generations fight, Dude was just straight immune to chaos control. And that's still Heroes Metal Sonic. He wouldn't be affected by Zero's time stop. Or is the argument that it's a different kind of time stop that Zero's using that it potentially could affect him? If that's your argument, okay, fine, I guess, because he'd mastered chaos control, not time stop in general. Fine, I'll let that shit slide. Silver versus Trunks. This is the Archie Comics character. This is the Xenoverse and Heroes character. I think they explain it. I think they explain it quite well. No notes, generally speaking. I am a little annoyed that it was a case of Silver's not winning in his base form. His super form, however, could do it, and it's like Silver in base is still keeping up with that fucker there. Like, I don't. Or I suppose more specifically, he's still keeping up with that fucker there. Like, I will note, like, very much, this was explicitly Archie Sonic, and this was explicitly Archie Silver. So, yeah, these were just like, we allowed this data to come into the frame. So, I don't know what to tell you here. I don't think this should have ended that way. But again, I'm biased. To those of you who know more about Metal Gear, I was going to say fucking Metal Gear. Yeah, that famous game, Metal Gear, with the blue guy who shoots people. What's his name? I think it's Metal Snake. No. Those of you who know more about Mega Man, please tell me if I'm wrong here. Because I don't know a lot about Mega Man. I know that he's supposed to be stronger than the regular Mega Man. And probably by extension Proto Man and like everything from back that era. But at the same time, it's not like Metal Sonic can't just copy this fucker. And even if it's not perfect, he still has, just so we're aware, you know, this guy's fucking biodata. Like, as default. Because that's who he was based off of. And again, Rivals and Rivals 2, Metal Sonic was competing with that guy. By this point, he's already run an infinite plane. And, like, without dying to the fucking arrow of flame, so... yeah. I just don't think Zero's winning. This is fine. I was supposed to have moved on to Silver versus Trunks. I didn't. I'm sorry. I got stuck. But yeah, I don't have notes. Don't know enough about Archie Sonic. Don't know enough about Xenoverse. Again, same deal. I can't really debate that, but from what they explained, I think they got it right. Anyway, yeah. They ran it back before, and Sonic lost. He fucking shouldn't have. Right. I have watched numerous fucking arguments about this exact fight. I have heard some bullshit about this exact fight. About specifically on this side of the fucker. Alright? I don't know if y'all getting Mario scaling, like, you're lowballing him on purpose or not. But I know y'all taking the piss with this. Like, this, okay, you have full right to just call me some angry Sonic fan. Alright, going on a rant, because that is exactly what's going on here. But motherfucker, I feel I have at least the right to rant. Because that is just one, two, fucking... We're leaving that to later. I let that slide entirely because the answer they give. 3. I let that one slide, that's fine. 4, 5, 6 fucking losses from the Sonic series compared to how many fucking wins? I'm not counting the unfair ones, thank you. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Metal Sonic versus Cell. Yeah, I'd say yeah, they got that right, but caveat. That's 4 to 6. Have there actually just been 10? Have there just been 10 fights? I don't feel right. There should have been more. Well, no, you dumbass, because you weren't counting the unfair wins. So that's tied up. That's 6 to 6. Okay, maybe I don't have as much of a right as I thought I did. But please let me anyway. Because this motherfucker came out right after Forces. So round 2, Sonic vs. Mario, came out right after Forces, yeah? That's unfortunate. Right. Now here's the fun thing about Sonic Forces. That shit does fucking wonders for this man's scaling. The downside is it was just poorly fucking written. Right, which is why I let, like, Infinite dying like a scrub in this fight slide. Alright? Because of course the character who was the most poorly written gets the most, like, thoughtless death. Right? Fair game, I guess. But, like, Eggman had one too. And Eggman wasn't poorly written. Eggman was just within proximity. Dude was telling Infinite he should have fucking killed Sonic, cause, like... And this is kinda why. Because I think they should have won. Asterisk next to that one before the claim continues. I think they should have won all of these. You know, except that one. With the exception of this one. They should have been fucking wins across the board. Especially given that you were bringing in Archie data for this fucker, which that one pissed me off at the time. That one, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at the time. But I couldn't quite explain why. My best idea is that it's like, from Zero Gravity, Knuckles should have had that shit because he was inside a black hole there. I didn't even think about Sonic Shuffle. Sonic Shuffle is another one. Anyway, yeah, to explain how Forces does wonders for Sonic scaling, alright, say you got the Time Eater, alright? That is the biggest bad final boss in the entire series, alright? Hands down. I'm not even gonna fucking bring up the fucking, like, the Death Egg robot from Lost World, alright? Time Eater got this shit, alright? He's erased the whole fucking timeline. You gotta jog to bring it back. Alright? Now, 2 Supersonics. Oh, I should not put that there. There we go. That's USO. 2 Supersonics. Take this motherfucker down. Now you say this, oh, but he had help with someone as equal. Yeah, similar. It's very much similar. Alright? Now, this basically equates to like just, one half a time meter got this. Right? Now what's destroying half a whole ass timeline? That's still a lot of infinity right there. It's like something happened on my phone. That's still like a lot of infinity. You're destroying like an entire universe for every instant there, right? Ah, that was an email. Well, not necessarily. You're just destroying a whole ass timeline. You could argue, no, he's just cutting off at one point to the present, except for the bits after that, which we see in Shadow Generations, but irrelevant for this one, considering we didn't see that. And he cut it off like 50 years ago as well. Or maybe that was Black Doom doing that. I don't know. Regardless, that's still a lot. That's still gotta be like at least more than a whole universe, right? And we ran the fucking calculations. Yeah, this fucker's got like a lot of universes, right? So we have very scaled it. It's like multiple arguments claiming he's multiversal and can fight a master of time and space. Great. Infinite's said to be stronger than the fucking Time Eater. From notes in the ads leading up to leading up to Sonic Forces, Infinite was said to be the strongest threat he'd faced so far. This means greater than the fucking Time Eater. And when Sonic beat Infinite, just had help from some dude. Like, yeah, Wispons could be generally like pretty fucking powerful, but at the same time, that's just some dude. That's like that's the wrist grapple and the Wispon. That's given to some guy who showed up last minute. That's not exactly a strong argument for how he's on par with this motherfucker here. This means, in normal form, Sonic is able to take down a motherfucker that tore a whole timeline apart and took the fight to the end of time. Reportedly. Even if you don't want to say that, even if we could just ignore like all of that, he's still bringing in fucking Zavok, who can counter Supersonic. Shit was in gameplay. Right? And we're all big fans of using gameplay to prove a point, particularly with this guy. So if we're going to be doing that, we've got to go both ways, alright? Zavok is countering Supersonic, who did this. Half a fucking Time Eater. And just to make sure, we're on the same page, he didn't summon one Zavok. No. He summoned at least 1,000 of them. And if that wasn't him, that was Eggman. That was Eggman that did that. This looks like a fucking mess. I sure hope you can understand this, at least, so that my ramblings make at least some sense. But that's the point. I don't know how else to push this, because this motherfucker became stronger than that motherfucker, who could just straight summon a fuckload of this motherfucker. Oh yeah, And this motherfucker too, while we're at it, in Chaos Zero. And that motherfucker. All of which on equal terms. He could just do that. Right? And this guy still won. Now, he beat half a master of time and space. And this motherfucker was summoning beings, you know, on par with this guy. Hundreds of times over. Thousands when Eggman got the fucking wheel. Just so that we're aware. Right? It's been going on for 42 minutes. No one's listening to this rant. Shadow vs. Ryuko Matoi. I'm calling unfair on that one. That's so that's me calling unfair. Entirely because that's poor fucker had to kill his waifu to finally get a win. Rip to that. But beyond that, again, this is after generations, this is after forces. Like, Shadow getting straight slandered across Death Battle up until this point. And even still, that's still some fucking slander there. That one and that one. More so that one than that one, admittedly. But that's, like, not saying a lot given the scope of fucking Dragon Ball. Even if just by GT. Like, they even gave him a nerf. He couldn't go Super Saiyan 4. That was Vegeta's one nerf there. Shadow was absolutely winning that fight. And he didn't. That's gonna baffle me forever. Right. Shadow vs. Ryuko. This is again someone on par with a man who can just jog the worldscape back into existence. Versus someone who I don't know. Could Rico blow up a planet? Cut one in half, probably. I think she probably could. I don't know if that's necessarily a stretch. I don't know. I've only watched Kill la Kill once. Oh, that's a different thing in my head. Someone arguing that it wasn't gay. I don't know, man. Seemed like the gayest shit in the world to me. Fucking loved it. Moving on. Eggman versus Bowser. This is another case of, yeah, sure, can beat a master of time and space, was the Time Eater, surpassed Infinite, the fucking Thousand Zavix and everyone else. Like, dude was not losing this fight, and somehow he lost it. Man, this came out after Frontiers. Like, I don't know if this was post fucking, like, Final Horizons or not. Like, mate, this already is enough of an argument. And even if we do add, like, fucking dream form here, how about the fact he surpassed Infinite? How about the fact he's still keeping up with this guy? Like, I do appreciate the Metal Sonic carry. Like, that's not going unappreciated. The Metal Sonic carry was absolute fucking fire. I mean, admittedly, Eggman's egg pawns in some cases have tanked multiple hits from this guy, and, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, this guy too, let's not forget that he was also there. You know, in Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06, Eggman has on occasion made stronger machines that can tank more than one shot from these guys. Let's not forget that. Their durability isn't complete ass. But he hasn't done that post, like, any time after the Time Eater, so I will let that slide. Because the fucking... Oh, he does have access to the ancient technology now, doesn't he? He's got that shit now, like... You got fucking Sage working for him, like... That's an important note. So he's probably got, like, other machines that Sonic, Knuckles... I forgot about one, actually. Hold on. I forgot that Amy was even in a death battle. You know, I think they got that one right. I don't think Amy hadn't been playable since fucking Heroes, right? So like, was there an advanced game after that? I think Advance 3 came after Heroes. Yeah. Sonic Battle. Sonic Battle had to have come out after Heroes, and that was another thing. Fucking... Yeah, nah. Amy is pretty fucking strong, actually. She is damn strong. That's another one that's just sort of unfair. Like, she is fast. She's keeping up with this motherfucker. She's... I think, I don't know if this was particularly after a certain point that came after this, but she is the only person who doesn't flinch when this person gives her a bump on the fucking shoulder. Like, just a bit. She even has an ability that fucking paralyzes people. Like, granted, yeah, they aren't using the Sonic Adventure 2 multiplayer, but still. That it would have been absolutely fucking nuts if they did that, because fucking poor Ramona, she'd be finding herself like stuck in place every 3 seconds or some shit. It's not even a time stop. Right? A time stop still keeps fucking Metal Sonic's black shield up. Keeps that barrier on. But, okay, so they've won more than they've lost. Alright, that's just hit me now, actually. Because the Amy versus Ramona bit, that just hit me now. But that's the thing. I have even less right to argue. To complain and shit. Maybe I should have saved that realization to the end of the video so that I could end on that. Because I'm still planning to talk about the remaining fucking, like, the remaining 2. Yeah, no, sorry. That one, unfair. This is, again, someone who's keeping up with, like, at the most recent gameplay. It's, like, Sonic Battle or Advance 3. She was still keeping up with Sonic, Knuckles, to a... I'm not again, I have to play Sonic Advance 3. I don't know if Amy ever fights Shadow, but I know for damn sure she's keeping up with these fuckers. She could argue, yeah, not as fast, not as strong, but, like, these are fucking high bars to beat. Right? That's just fucking unfair. Anyway, yes, Eggman versus Bowser. Eggman should have won that shit. It don't matter what Bowser got up his sleeve, Eggman has at least one counter, and it's probably Metal Sonic. Anyway, yeah, Metal Sonic versus Cell. Metal Sonic's faster than Cell. Come on. Like, yeah, you got it right, sure. This is a case of, like, right answer, wrong method. Metal Sonic is faster than Cell. And it's, you know, again, not even fucking close. Like, come the fuck on. So by this grounds, he's probably stronger than him too. Like, man is fucking solar system strong. Right? He's got that in his backup banks. It's like they gave him this guy's intelligence. Like, how the fuck does... It's like, Cell doesn't stand a chance. He is not fucking slower than him. But the time stop could mitigate the fucking the difference. I don't care how close you want to make it look. You could say Cell has more skill with all the fucking, like, martial artists he has in his grounds. But that's about where his advantages kind of stop. And he stops having those advantages when Metal Sonic does the fucking copy shit. Like, he can just do that. Like, I don't know what, that it just pisses me off a little bit more than it should. But Metal Sonic the fucking copy bot, like, come on. Anyway, before I get into round one of this fucking battle here, like, just before I get into like round one of this one, the one where they use the Archie comics as reference, I gotta talk about the Tilda ones, because they did talk about this one. They said, yeah, this was back when we weren't taking it so seriously. So I suppose this does mean that a bunch of these could be forgiven, but it was back in the fucking era where it was like this one and that one, right? I don't know if Metal Sonic vs. Zero was back in that timing, but the fucking rest of these weren't. And they decided the Metal Sonic won that one, not Eggman or Wily. And that if they were to run it back now, you know, like, Eggman would win. They did say that. Especially now that they have fucking Sage. Which is just like, oh, you brought robots to a battle where someone has the ability to control all of your robots? Dumbass. I guess that's it, really. So this looks like a fucking conspiracy board, actually. Can we take, like, just a second to appreciate how crazy I fucking look here? That's some fine insanity, that. Alright. Now that's the Tilda there. They had Metal Sonic win. Which, like, that's... yeah, fair enough. The game was like, we don't actually know who'd win, but Metal Sonic has a history of rebellion, and Wily has a virus that makes robots rebellious. So both of them fucking die. We just give the win to Metal Sonic. It's like, fair enough, I suppose. What was the other one I put a fucking tilde at? Oh, it was that one. Did I put a tilde at any other one? Yeah, I think I explained Metal Sonic vs. Zero, actually. That one being, I don't actually know much about that scaling. Anyway, yeah, I've said my piece about pretty much all of them. How about we talk about Shadow vs. Mewtwo, round one? What the fuck was that? How they had Mewtwo win? Through the super form, they had Mewtwo erase Shadow's memories. All of them. And it's not like on the grounds of, oh, Shadow has a lot of experience with losing his memories. But no. They go through that, it fucks him up. So he loses the super form, they can plunge a fucking spoon through him. That's how that one ended. I saw this coming as well. I remember I was talking to my mate back then, and we were saying like, so asking who do you think is going to win? I think they're going to make Mewtwo win because Shadow lost against Vegeta, and granted, I didn't exactly have much of a scale for either of those characters, but I thought no, they had Shadow lose once. They're not going to have him just win the next round. And fucking yeah, I was right. Now, even back then, Vegeta turning Mewtwo into soup. Right? No debate. He's doing that. For as much as Mewtwo could try to fuck with his head, the dude's sheer hold on his own pride is gonna fucking fight Mewtwo out of his head. Which, hey, doesn't that sound familiar to something Shadow did? Like, Shadow the Hedgehog, the end of the game, the guy resisted the fucking control of Black Doom. Right, he did that. So, but that was a blood connection. It fucking mattered it was a blood connection. He still fucking did it. He pushed his way out. Fucking made it. He then went super and kicked his arse. And they ran it back round. They ran that shit back recent too. Like Sonic X Shadow Generations. He didn't even need the super form and fought a stronger version of Black Doom. Let's actually put the dots down. There we go. Like, for all intents and purposes, Shadow should not be losing this fight. He is stronger, faster, tougher. But he still lost that fight round one. Even back then, it was I was in high school at the time. Fuck. My first year of high school was 2012. And I remember that because we were talking about the end of the world, and I was standing outside the tutor room waiting for, I think it was detention, not the world to end. I wasn't waiting for the world to end. But that noise was a noise that my Kindle is running out of battery. Give me a second. It's on this side. There we go. That's... Oh, that's where I was. It's about Shadow versus Mewtwo, round one. Should not have ended that way. I don't quite know when this came out, but I guarantee you, came out after this. And he's keeping up with a guy who can run an infinite fucking speed. This shit came out after the first one of Generations, which it probably did. Alright. Came out after in Time Eater. Which means it came out after Sonic had ran a whole timeline back into existence. But before we can prove in game that Shadow can do the same fucking shit. But it was very notably implied. Silver be separate from Time. I'm not sure if we'll ever see his side of the story, but I kind of want to. Anyway. Based off of all of this, who do you think I want to win? And who do you think I think is winning? You got your answers in? Right. I don't fucking know. It could go one way, like sort of a, hey, we're not biased again, we're not a biased bunch. See, here's Shadow losing to Mewtwo again, alright? We stick by it, we stick with our guns. They could be doing that. Hold on, is that like, fuck you, you were on charge for like an hour and a half. Fucking power bank not charging. And have Mewtwo win. And the guy's like, yeah, no, we stick to our guns, we're not biased, we know our shit. Kind of deal. Or going, well, in light of new information, Shadow wins. Or rather, in light of the recent game, we have proof that Shadow can win. Sort of deal. As if that wasn't, like, as if Shadow wasn't already that fucking powerful. So I want Shadow to be the winner. I don't know anything that's happened in the recent... I will put a tilde there. I don't actually know what the fuck else has happened in Pokemon recently. All I know about them is that their shit caps are like... Let's use a power scaling term, because I've been fucking avoiding it this whole bloody time. This shit caps at Universal Plus. And the reason I've been avoiding power scaling terms this whole fucking rant is because I don't actually know shit about power scaling. As far as I'm aware, Mewtwo is Universal Plus, and that's about it. That's all I know. Meanwhile, Shadow's on this fucking shit. Right? Because, don't forget, that was something he did too. He joined in on that shit. I recently did a playthrough with that shit. Like, come on. If you're gonna ignore Solaris, then, like, you're not doing it right. You gotta include Solaris. Remember the Time Eater. The fact that Infinite was reported as the strongest threat Sonic had faced. That Eggman surpassed his ass. That now they have Sage and they fought the fucking end. I don't have any space on this. They fought the end. Like, that's just it. And apparently that's on par with Dark Gaia. Like a chaotic force of the fucking universe. This being the fucking embodiment of of the end of all things. Where Dark Gaia was just the embodiment of all darkness. Nah. Shadow should not be losing this fight. At all. So do I want to win? Shadow. Who do I think's gonna win? I don't fucking know. Either way, I await the answer. And I note that I have stated some right bold shit in this video. Alright? Hope you have enjoyed. Because, if not, shit, I'm sorry. I don't know, what would you like me to do next time? Well, rather the time after next, because next time I'm going to be playing Sonic X Shadow Generations. Alright, this is clearly brainwormed me, alright? So, we done here. Alright? I hold zero threats. These are just my thoughts on Sonic's fucking win pattern over the course of Death Battle. Next video I am playing Web of Shadows with hopes that when I do, I am just ignoring the fucking civilian mission. Alright? Hope you enjoyed this 1 hour video. If you can leave a like on it if you want, if you do so, please be honest. You subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, share, leave a comment down below. Anyway, that's enough out of me. That's Steeler, and you'll hear me next time.